Welcome to the Simplify, Lead and Grow podcast, where business leaders share real strategies for growth. Hosted by Steve Kopecki, each episode offers insights to help you simplify, lead with purpose, and achieve success. Get ready for a wealth of knowledge and inspiration. The journey to simplify, lead, and grow starts now.
Now, for today's episode, we're going to shake things up a bit. I'm excited to introduce to you Mandi Lococo, the owner of Gramoll Associates, an American family agency based in Shorewood, Wisconsin. Mandi's world might be casualty insurance, but trust me, there's nothing casual about the incredible work of Mandi and her team. Welcome to the show, Mandi.
Thank you, Steve, for having me.
Excellent. Thanks for being here. We have a series of questions that I'd like to ask you about being an entrepreneur. The first one, could you just tell me a little bit about your business?
Absolutely. So our agency, as you mentioned, is in Shorewood, and we have been here since 1991. We provide, we're an American family insurance agency, so we provide auto insurance, property insurance, small business insurance, and life insurance primarily.
Okay. How many employees do you have?
Currently, I have 10 employees that work under me.
Excellent. Excellent. That's a pretty good sized team.
We have a great team, and we're actually adding to it. So as of next week, we will actually have 11 team members. So we keep growing, which is exciting.
That is great. What inspired you to start this company, or how did that all work out? And, to take this leap as an entrepreneur?
So I actually, my dad actually became an agent the same year that I was born, back in the mid-70s. And I grew up being able to observe and see some of the challenges that he faced as a small business owner, but also some of the advantages that he had as a small business owner. Being able to leave and come to our sporting events, or coaching us, like coaching me in softball and volleyball. That's kind of some of the advantages I think that he had, but also the dedication and the sweat equity that he had to put into building his business. And I saw that, and I was also very proud of what he was able to accomplish. And so once I got a little bit older and I was going to college, he had offered me a part-time role working for him, because I was in close proximity to his office. And so I decided to come work for him part-time, thinking it would just be something I did while I was in college. And I really enjoyed it. And so I really actually enjoyed working with customers. Again, insurance is just it's a product, but I enjoyed the idea of talking with people, helping people, protecting their assets, homes, cars, financial security. Those are everybody's biggest assets. And I feel like we allow them to protect those with some of the products that we offer. So I really enjoyed that part of it. So once I graduated from college, I came on full-time working for the agency. Extremely rewarding. I love what I do. I love building up those around me, and being able to just be a part of the community and networking with other business owners. I think it's just an amazing opportunity, and I can't imagine doing anything else.
Oh, that's great. Sounds like a super team and a really nice organization that you've built. And taking it on from your father as well, and his legacy and what he's done with the business must be something that he's pretty proud about too. What would you say are some of the misconceptions of being an entrepreneur?
I think the misconceptions of being an entrepreneur probably stem around the fact that, people think that we have a lot of freedom. And I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, like, you're never checking out. I wouldn't say I work 24/7, but I'm checked in 24/7. If an emergency happens, or if something happens with a team member and they need my help, that's on me. I've got to be there, and I've got to be available. Maybe not everybody looks at it the same way, but that's how I am as a person. And so even as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, that's not going to change what I would do for someone on my team, or what I would do for a customer. Ultimately, the buck stops with me. And again, there's pros and cons to that. I mean, there's going to be cons to the fact that when I go on vacation, I'm still checked in quite often, actually. I don't completely check out, but at the same time, it does afford me the flexibility to make decisions. If I need to be somewhere or do something, like, I have the flexibility to do that. and I don't necessarily have to get the approval of anybody else above me. So
Yep.
I think that's probably the biggest misconception that I've come across.
Okay, excellent. You know, myself, I like to garden every now and then, and you know, that not too long ago, I recognized that we had a lot of weeds going on in the garden, and nothing was really growing. So I went through a process of weeding the garden. Um, as an owner of a business and having a team, pretty sizable team, how do you like clean things up every now and then with what the business is doing and where it's focusing for its growth and its critical issues?
That's a great analogy and an excellent question. We do this very intentionally. So my number one focus as a business owner is on the culture of our team. I don't think that you can be a successful business if you have a really crummy culture. And so it's almost like making sure that you're clean and pure from within, because then what your output is also going to be clean and pure. If you're rotten on the inside, you're going to be rotten on the outside. It's like, I truly, truly believe that. So we focus so heavily on the way that we interact with each other, the respect that we give each other, the core values that we've set as a team. So I would say on a very simplistic level, the biggest thing that we do is every year we choose new core values. And sometimes the core values stay the same. Like last year, one of our core values was integrity. Well, this year, one of our core values is integrity. That's something that hasn't changed. But there's been a couple of things that have been shifted, from year to year. And each person is judged is not probably the right word, but analyzed on how they're living up to those core values. So 2 times a year, we do what's called a people analyzer, where each team member basically analyzes every other team member on how they were living up to those core values on a scale of 1 to 10. And if someone is not, if someone is not living up to those core values, that's a time that we sit down and we have a discussion and say, listen, like everyone else is feeling like maybe you're not pulling your weight. Maybe you have integrity, but you're not taking care of your job at the end of the day. Or maybe you're doing a good job and you're getting your job done, but you don't have the integrity, whatever the situation may be. It helps us kind of analyze how everybody feels about every other member on the team. And if there is an issue with one particular member, we have a talk about it. We give them a few months to kind of get things cleaned up a little bit in their own, world. And then we circle back. And if things haven't changed, that's grounds for dismissal. And again, Steve, it's like there's certain things that are out of your control, right? So it's like I can't control the product that we're given by American Family. Like we have a contract with American Family Insurance. They provide the product to us. There's certain things that I can't control when it comes to the rate that they offer, the product that they offer, the endorsement that they offer. I can't control that. What I can control is how is my team going to present that? How are they going to work with our customers? How are they feeling as team members? How do they work together? That's what we focus on. We focus on what we can control and we let go of the things we can't control. So
Sure. How would you define in line with that, how would you define your ideal client? That's a really good question for an entrepreneur that's starting up their business.
Our ideal client would be someone who also values relationship, ultimately, because again, there's certain things that we can't control. We can't control when the rates go up. We can't control when the company makes a decision that's going to impact their policy and what kind of coverages they can get. We can't control that. So ultimately, what we're looking for is someone who's going to value the relationship. Someone's going to value the fact that we are really looking to be their advisor. Like we don't want to go in and tell people what they should have or assume what they should have. Ultimately, we want to say this is what we recommend, and here's why we recommend it. But ultimately, you're the consumer, and it's your decision to decide what is the best fit for you. And we can give you all the different options. Someone who's going to be a rate shopper, to put it blatantly, honest, like someone who's going to be a rate shopper and they're going to want to hop around every couple of years because they can get a, less expensive insurance policy here for a year, here for a year. I'm not going to not take the business, but at the end of the day, they're not our ideal customer. We want someone who's going to be able to work with us and really value the relationship that we're going to give them and the time and energy we give them, because we do give a lot of time and energy to each individual customer.
Okay, excellent. Sounds good. How do you keep work-life balance, with all the things that are going on in the business, and, what habits or what strategies some people, work out, or, other people
Mhm.
yoga or meditate. What are some
Right.
ways you maintain work-life balance?
Well,
In
it's funny you ask because that's actually one of our core values. It's
Mhm.
been one of our core values the last 2 years is that we are very dedicated to making sure that everybody on our team has a healthy work-life balance. And so, I've made it very clear to my team, we work really hard when we're here, but once you're done for the day, I want you to go home and I want you to take your mind off insurance. I don't want you thinking about it. I don't want you checking in. You don't have to, like, if I message you on Teams, you don't have to respond. I'm not expecting it. I might do it because I need to get it off my mind and get it done. But I don't expect a response once when you're not here. I want you to focus on family, focus on you, taking your time for you. This is important. Everybody knows that I feel very strongly that way. Now, I'm different, right? Because again, like as I said, like I'm the business owner. So
Mhm.
I have to intentionally force myself to not be checking my messages all the time, to not be checking my emails. Um, what I would say is the first couple of years, I wasn't good at that.
Mhm.
I would come home, I'd take a couple hours, my kids would go to bed, I would log back in for a couple hours and I'd work and do stuff. Um, the biggest shift for me was learning to let go of that control. Um, I'm type A. I like to have everything a certain way.
Mhm.
And I had to learn like there's other people out there that might not do it exactly the way I would do it, but it's not the wrong way. And they can do it very successfully and still be very good at what they do, regardless if it's not exactly the same way I do. So I really learned and worked hard on learning to let go of some of that control,
Mhm.
delegate a lot of things that I used to do and just say I don't need to do them anymore. Like I'm going to have someone else do that. I've increased the number of people that work for me, so I have more support. And I do now. Very most nights I will go home and I might respond to a couple emails, but I'm not working for hours on end. Like I
Yeah.
really force myself to sit down and just kind of let go and read or watch a documentary or something like that. So it's been very intentional to force myself into doing that.
Absolutely. You set the pace that other people are watching on your team, right? And
Yeah.
it sounds
Yeah.
like you really worked with that and made sure that if as a team, work-life balance is important, that you demonstrate that. That's what I'm hearing.
Right. Right.
Okay. Super. What are some of your future plans for the business?
Well, we want to continue to scale.
Mhm.
I said the day that I stop wanting to grow is the day I should retire. I don't ever want to feel that I'm not engaged, and that's the time when it's time to move on and do something else. So right now we are still looking to scale. So, but we want to do it at a slow pace.
Mhm.
It's not a sprint; it's a marathon. And so what we're looking to do is we look for really slow growth. I think that's the best way to grow, to be honest. So our goal is to continue to grow 1 to 2% every year in organic growth, which in our industry is not easy to do, especially in Wisconsin.
Yep.
Wisconsin is a very saturated market, especially with American family agents. We've got 300 agents in our state, which is the largest number of agents in any state that American Family is in. Some states have 60 agents. We have 300. So
Yep.
it's like it's
Mhm.
very saturated, but that's a good thing. It's good for the company, and I also it's not a bad thing for us. It gives me an opportunity to be around other peers and learn from more people. So I actually do enjoy that. But with that being said, there's a lot of opportunity out there for us to continue to scale and grow. We just don't want to be stagnant. I feel like we put in too much energy and work into being really good at what we do. So seeing that incremental growth a little bit every year is really rewarding. I think it's rewarding for me, it's rewarding for my team. It increases our revenue, which allows me to pay them more. I like, quite honestly, like I have a set amount of revenue that I like to take home. It's a certain percentage that
Mhm.
I like to take home. And if I'm over that, I'm reinvesting back in the business.
Mm.
So that's kind of my benchmark is I know like if we start making more money, I'm not looking to take any more home. I want to stay at 30%, but I do want to reinvest, either bring on another team member, bring on another salesperson, buy more leads, do more marketing, whatever we feel is actually going to benefit us the most at the time. That's what we're looking to do. So we'd like to continue to scale slowly.
Okay. What differentiates you in this saturated market? I mean, you brought that out and it kind of intrigued me. Um,
Mhm.
on the American family side, the great brand, locally in particular, regionally,
Yeah.
how do you differentiate in that marketplace? What is it why do people come to your organization versus a different one, American Family?
Yeah, I would say it's reputation
Mhm.
and it's community involvement. And it's networking. I would say it's really those three. So reputation, again, we've been around, like our agency has been here since 1991.
Mhm.
So we're going on 30, we're 33 years in. That's significant. So I think that has a lot to do with it. Like our name's been around for a long time. We've been in the same location. That absolutely helps us, have some um, we have some loyal customers and people that refer business to us. But one of the things that I spend my time doing is really networking, and not in a way that I'm trying to build generic relationships, but true relationships. Like I love to help other small business owners. I love to meet people, hear about what they do, promote them on my LinkedIn or my social media. Like I think that's great. I love to see other people succeed. And so I think when you're genuine and you really just want to get to know people and you want to help other people, that always is going to come back to help you too. So I don't go into it with that intention, but ultimately that's the result. We do get, like I said, most of the business that we write is from referrals,
Mhm.
and it's from referrals from other people in our community. So it's from lenders that we've worked with, it's from realtors that we've worked with, it's from other business owners. As a matter of fact, it was really funny. Last night I was a North Shore Chamber of Commerce awards banquet. It was the first annual North Shore Chamber of Commerce awards banquet, and they were handing out awards to like all these different community members and everything like that. And at my table was someone I hadn't met before. He's a new business owner. He actually just opened a chiropractor office in Glendale, and we were just chatting and he's like, "Oh, I just moved to Shorewood from Chicago. So my business is in Shorewood, and like, what business do you have?" And I told him, and he said, "Oh, well, you're my insurance agent." So, and I'm like, "Oh, really?" He had worked with someone from our team, and I said, and then he told me his name, and I said, "Oh, I recognize your name. I mean, I know you worked with someone else from the team,
Yeah.
but I recognized his name as a new customer." And I said, "Well, if you don't mind me asking, like, how did you find us? Originally." He said, "Well, through the chamber, because you're a member of the chamber." And he's like, "And I wanted to work with someone who is a member of the chamber." And so I thought, well, it's those things, it's those connections, it's being involved in your chamber of commerce, it's being involved in Rotary, it's being involved in networking. But you have to be genuine about it, because I think people can read out someone who is not genuine.
Sure.
So if you really truly feel passionate about it, which I do, I think those are gonna be the best ways for you to help scale and grow your business. That's
Okay.
how we stand out. That's how we stand out. I guess that's what my answer would be.
Absolutely. You just gave some really good nuggets there for entrepreneurs and those that are starting out and how they can differentiate themselves. And you also gave a pretty decent plug for what I think is a really good chamber in North Shore
Great
Chamber.
chamber.
Done some
Yeah, they
really
do.
good work there, the team, and yeah, it's really providing. That's exactly what a chamber should do, and sounds like it's
Hmm.
doing a really good job. Uh,
Hmm.
what advice would you give to an entrepreneur as they're starting out?
I would say be the best at what you do.
Mm.
Because again, everybody may have the same exact product as what you're offering. Might not be the case with every entrepreneur. Certainly, there's some products out there that are, um, unique and different. But if you're offering a similar product or service than someone else down the street, you have to be better.
Mhm.
That I would say that's the other thing when I was talking about the networking, talking about being involved in your community, things of that nature. On top of that, we have one um, goal in our agency, and it's to provide the best customer experience for our customers.
Mhm.
We want to make sure that we don't overpromise. We want to underpromise and overdeliver. I think is that the right phrase?
Right.
So if you tell someone, "I'll get back to you in 2 business days," get back to them in one.
Mm.
If you tell them, like, "I'm going to respond to an email within an hour," respond to the email in 15 minutes. If you under promise but over deliver, you're always going to hit a home run out of the park, and the customer is going to be like, "They're amazing."
Yeah.
They're amazing. So
Right.
so our like so we really impress, and we talk about, like, our mission is to provide the best customer experience that person has ever had. It might be kind of cheesy, but I liken it to Chick-fil-A. So I was sitting in a business presentation once, and the business consultant who was giving the presentation is a personal family friend, but now the business consultant for the executives and the founders of Chick-fil-A. And he was talking about, when you're a consumer, why do people go to Chick-fil-A? Is it for the amazing chicken? Yeah, I think the chicken's pretty good.
Hmm.
But what do people talk about when they talk about going to Chick-fil-A? Because it is still technically a fast food restaurant.
Yeah,
What they
like
talk about,
customer
right?
service, right?
It's
Yeah.
the customer service. They talk about the fact that, like, okay, you might go there and say, oh my gosh, the line is really long. But guess what? That line moves like that. They've got people out there taking your order. They move you along. They say, my pleasure. Every single time, like, everybody knows to say my pleasure, and people remember that. And so when you think of a company that's providing the best customer service, even though their product might be the same as everyone else down the street, you're going to choose to go to Chick-fil-A because you like working with them. You
Yeah.
like the experience that you're given. It makes you feel good when you go there, and you like the fact that everyone is friendly. When
Yeah.
I was talking about, like, I mean, to be honest, like, when I was talking about the team member that I had to let go a couple months, one of the reasons why I didn't struggle with the idea of letting her go is because she wasn't giving our customers a hug, like a virtual hug when they would call in. She was
Mhm.
taking care of the problem, but she was kind of a downer.
I hear that on the customer service side. That example too. What resonates with me is they seem like the organization seems like it takes care of its employees too. Because here in
Yeah.
rural Wisconsin in the middle of winter, they do just
Yes.
about everything they can for those folks that are standing out there.
Yes, yes, they do. They're warm. They're in heat. They're in heaters.
Yeah, did you ever see the little box that they put around the
Yeah,
folks as
it's
they're walking
amazing.
around? And
Yeah. Yeah, it's
yeah,
amazing. And I also, I mean, and hey, truth be told, there's a lot of Sundays I want Chick-fil-A, but I also am like, that's actually very cool. They're not open on Sundays. Like, I
right.
get it.
Yeah,
So
you got to
yes,
have a family day in there. Take care of
you got to
yourself.
have a family day. And we've also, like, I would say when, you know, 6, 7 years ago when I first took over, we had never ever closed the office. We were always open from 8:30 to 5. Never did we ever close for team meetings or team building events or anything like that. We
Mhm.
now do that. Like, we now say it's okay to close for a half a day. We're going to go have a team meeting and go off site and like work together to, like, knock out some of these things that we want to focus on. We've closed for a half day for team building events, where we went to the Brewers game, and it's okay. Like, you know what, we are very transparent and say we're closed today for a team building event or
Yep.
a community event to go work at Habitat for Humanity or something like that. The customers will be fine. They have an emergency line they can call if they have a claim. They have a line they can call if they need a billing question answered. But ultimately, we call them back the next day or even that evening. Many times we'll tell them the next day, but then we'll over deliver and call them back that night.
Yep.
And it's fine. So we've intentionally taken time off and taken time away from our normal work hours to focus on our team and our team mental health.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And in line with what you just mentioned, what a nice ad that the American family did by becoming the sponsors of the Milwaukee Brewers. I mean, it just gives everybody that's got a business, American family business, a whole nother level of marketing to it, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. No, it's been a great partnership. I know the Brewers wanted to still work with a local Wisconsin company,
Yeah.
and so really, really excited that American Family stepped up and took that on, and it's been a really fun partnership for them to have.
Yeah, I was a little worried they were going to get rid of the sausages, but they kept.
Heck no, no, I can never get rid of the sausages.
That's great. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty good at predicting who's going to win. So I got
Are
them.
you?
I got the kids the other day. I beat them. So number two.
Who do you pick? Do you pick the Italian sausage or who do you
It
pick?
it just it's a matter of at the moment, type
Yeah.
thing. But
Yeah.
I don't have any real scientific thing or I get lucky.
Oh, that's good. I don't pick accurately, so I'm usually wrong on that.
Well, we should compare notes someday. Maybe we have
Right.
there's some secret sauce there.
Get some secret sauce. Exactly. That's exactly right.
Right. Okay, well, great. Anything else to add, Mandy?
No, I just really appreciate the opportunity, for any small business owners that are either, just starting out or thinking about starting out. It's a very rewarding thing to do. Again, it's like I just cannot stress enough. Like the challenge is well worth it. And I'm a very huge supporter of any small businesses. So always happy to provide information and some insight. I appreciate the opportunity.
That's excellent. I know, knowing you on a personal level as well through the community, you're always there, just a phone call away to help out someone that has a question or a need. And, it's something that it seems like it permeates into your organization as well. And it's a good thing for your organization from a customer service perspective, as you said. So really appreciate you being on this podcast. And this concludes the Simplify, Lead, and Grow podcast for today. Again, thank you, Mandi, and your organization, Gramoll Associates. Truly an excellent team that you have, and you've had some difficult times as well over the process of putting together a great team, and but it did it with dignity, and you put that team together, and it's just a great company. Everybody knows it in the area, and I appreciate you being a member, part of this podcast today. Really imparting some excellent wisdom to future entrepreneurs, those that are thinking about it, and those that currently are, building their businesses. Maybe some of those that are struggling as well. So,
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And to everybody else, continue to simplify, lead, and grow your businesses. And until next time, I'll see you. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you for listening to the Simplify, Lead, and Grow podcast. We hope this episode provided you with valuable insights and actionable strategies to apply in your leadership journey. If you enjoyed the show, consider subscribing and leaving a review to help us reach more listeners. Be sure to share this podcast with fellow leaders ready to simplify their approach, lead with purpose, and grow their business. Until next time, continue to lead with passion and grow with purpose.